Members of the United States military were targeted by Iran today with a retaliatory Iranian missile strike at the major U.S. military base in Qatar. Nobody appears to have been hurt in that attack. But members of the U.S. military know that this president has their interests in mind in some ways, and those of their families. How does he have them in mind? Well, this is the father of 3 U.S. Marines, 2 of whom are on active duty at Camp Pendleton, one of whom is recently retired. This father of 3 U.S. Marines was beaten by masked federal agents this weekend when they turned up to arrest him at his job site. He was beaten. He was pepper sprayed, according to one of his U.S. Marine sons. They also dislocated his shoulder. His son told the LA Times that his father is 5'6" or 5'7" and weighs about 150 pounds. This was the use of force they chose against this man. Again, this man with the 3 sons in the United States Marine Corps. His oldest son said that when his father called him from the immigration facility they first sent him, his father didn't want to talk about his injuries. He instead wanted to talk about the job that he had left incomplete. He asked his son to please go back to that job site where he had been arrested. He asked his son to please finish the job that he had been working on, trimming the grass.
Donald Trump is in full-blown temper tantrum mode right now, which is not exactly the mindset I'd like to see out of a president who already has a pudding brain in his escalating conflict in the Middle East. But this is where we are right now. Trump is losing it and attacking everyone around him. He's attacking Democrats, calling out his illegal strike on Iran. He's attacking Republicans, calling him out for breaking his No New Wars campaign promise. And he's attacking the media, not just for accurately reporting on his failed ceasefire, but for calling out the original failure of his military operation in Iran. And Trump is incredibly upset about that. We saw it all unfold, and a meltdown on Air Force One in which he was attacking reporters and attacking the media. We're going to get into it all. But first I want to see the original attack he made. As he was boarding the plane, which was against AOC and Jasmine Crockett. In a lengthy Truth Social post that we're just not going to read, all of Trump wrote, "Stupid AOC, one of the dumbest people in Congress, is now calling for my impeachment." Despite the fact that crooked and corrupt Democrats have already done that twice before. The reason for her ratings is all of the victories that the USA has under the Trump administration. The Democrats aren't used to winning, and she can't stand the concept of our country being successful again. When we examine her test scores, we will find out that she's not qualified for office, but nevertheless far more qualified than Crockett, who is a serious low IQ individual, or Ilhan Omar, as Trump continues. So I don't want to read all that slop. I just want to acknowledge how absurd it is that Donald Trump is singling out women of color to attack as low IQ when he, in fact, might be the stupidest person in the country. He can't even spell his own name correctly. It was Donald the other night. And you're saying that Jasmine Crockett is low IQ, AOC Ilhan Omar. He is just idiotic. And Donald Trump only proves how little he understands about anything, as he's asked about his strike on Iran, in which he gave just the most idiotic answer.
President, did Iran make any commitments yesterday about uranium enrichment?
About what?
About uranium enrichment.
They're not going to have enrichment, and they're not going to have a nuclear weapon, and they know that. They're going to get on to being a great trading nation. You know, they're very good traders. And they're going to be a great trading nation, and they have a lot of oil. They're going to do well. They're not going to have a nuclear weapon.
So did they
The
promise?
last thing on Iran's mind right now is nuclear weapons.
So Trump is asked about uranium, which was the whole point of the unsuccessful mission he had, was to strike and destroy the enriched uranium at Iran's nuclear facilities, which didn't happen, one, because Trump was projecting out what he was going to do. So the uranium was moved, as admitted by J.D. Vance, out of those facilities. And also, Donald Trump was unsuccessful in his strike, which is what led him to melt down so much later. But he didn't even answer the question. He just kept talking about oil and trade and how much the trade is going to be so oily and the oil is going to be so tradable. And like, this is all he's focused on, even though he's still the same guy who can't get trade deals done, but he just continued to ramble about it. Listen to what he had to say right here.
Do you want to see regime change in Iran?
No. If there was, there was. But no, I don't want it. I'd like to see everything calm down as quickly as possible. Regime change takes chaos. And ideally, we don't want to see so much chaos. So we'll see how it does. You know, the Iranians are very good traders, very good business people. And they got a lot of oil. They should be fine. They should be able to rebuild and do a good job. They're never going to have nuclear, but other than that, they should do it great.
Trump cannot make up his mind about what he does and does not want Trump not only always chickens out. It's not just that he's the taco. He also is the flip-flop. He doesn't know what he wants. It was 48 hours ago when he was saying that we need regime change. And now he loves Iran, and it's a blessed nation in which he holds in the highest regard. And actually, they're great at trading, which isn't, again, going to be much help to Donald Trump because he can't get trade deals done. So I don't really know what the point is there, but it just, again, seems like a larger distraction from the fact that Donald Trump doesn't want to talk about what really started this all off, which was the fact that the military operation, the actual strikes, were not completely successful. As we've talked about extensively, Donald Trump hates that was being reported. It's the reason he was calling out CNN reporters specifically and attacking them, as we can see right here.
And I will tell you, the last thing on their minds is nuclear weapons. They don't even want to think about nuclear. And our B-2 pilots made this all possible. They had a magnificent hit in the dark of night with no moon, no light, no nothing. They hit the target perfectly, wiped it out. And the press is very disrespectful. I saw CNN fake news going, well, maybe it wasn't a perfect hit, it was perfect. They said maybe it did destroy it. We agree, it did destroy it, but maybe it could have destroyed it more. No, it couldn't have destroyed it more. Everyone hit. And it's very disrespectful to those great geniuses and patriots that flew those planes through tremendous danger. So CNN and MSDNC are a disgrace. And so are the others. I mean, they're pretty much all a disgrace.
So we covered this story the day after the strike, that the facilities were not completely obliterated, totally destroyed. As Trump said, sure, there was severe damage done. This was the report from Donald Trump's top military officials, but to say that it was the complete destruction, annihilation, and end of Iran's nuclear program is completely unfounded and untrue. That's just not what is being suggested by any sort of evidence that we have, both coming from Donald Trump's military officials and satellite images that have been captured of the Ford site. That's just not true. But again, we have to come back to the fact that J.D. Vance himself admitted Donald Trump was the one who screwed this plan before it could even start blabbing off on Truth Social about getting people out of Tehran, which led Iranians to ostensibly move out the uranium they knew that Donald Trump would be targeting. So again, it is his own meltdowns. It is his own pudding brain. It is his own obsession with posting on Truth Social that has caused so many problems in all this. While Donald Trump pretends that it's the media attacking the brave men and women who carried out this mission. No, they're not saying or criticizing their actions. They're reporting what the facts are. But who is Donald Trump to get all high and mighty and say, oh, you're being so disrespectful to our troops. You called them suckers and losers. You put them through a wasteful military parade on your birthday to glorify yourself, not them. You are currently going after those who have served our country and their family with your illegal ICE raids. And Rachel Maddow broke that all down right here.
When he was attacked by Trump's immigration agents. This is another young U.S. Marine Corps veteran in Louisiana, whose wife was just arrested by Trump's immigration agents. This is a young married couple. They have a 9-week-old daughter. This Marine Corps veteran dad has been bringing their baby daughter to the immigration prison where Trump's agents are holding his wife and their baby's mother so he can try to figure out how the baby daughter can still breastfeed from the mom while Trump has her locked up. These are two young National Guardsmen in Illinois who went to the immigration office in full uniform with their mom to try to stop Trump's immigration agents from arresting their mother. This is an active duty U.S. Army sergeant who has now flown to Honduras to try to reconnect with his wife, who Trump's agents arrested while her husband is serving on active duty as a sergeant in the United States Army. The pushback against what Trump is doing to immigrants and to American families that include immigrants, it continues and continues and continues to build. This was Albuquerque, New Mexico this weekend, a really big march in downtown Albuquerque to support immigrants and to oppose what Trump is doing. This was Lawrenceville, Georgia this weekend, another large-scale march to support immigrants and to oppose what Trump is doing. This was Port Washington, Long Island in New York this weekend, where friends and neighbors rallied to demand the release of their local bagel shop manager, Fernando, who has lived in their town for decades and is a beloved part of it. This was Pasadena, California this weekend. A big protest, but one with a live band led by clergy. The local Fox affiliate covering the protest said it was a big protest, but it felt at times like a block party as it just kept getting bigger and bigger.
Mood was upbeat, but their message was serious.
I've been to 5 this week. I think the message is being heard loud and clear.
You heard the music almost before you saw the crowd marching its way down Pasadena Street. Months ago, Pasadena attacked by fire. Now they say the threat is ICE, as in ICE raids on immigrant communities.
People are scared. They're in their homes, afraid to come out, afraid to go grocery shopping, afraid to pick up their kids from school. So why not be here and support them?
Joy is a part of our people's, even when we protest. We've got a joy that no one knows where it comes from, but it comes from the resilience of our people who built this country, brown and black people, and it's time for us to stand together.
The diverse crowd was organized by the National Day Laborer Organizing Network. And according to Pasadena police, who lined the route, it was peaceful.
Lately, we've been seeing very, very scary clips of these ICE kidnappings, which is the only thing to call them. They are kidnappings. And it just makes me think, and it doesn't have to be this conversation, but do you know what it kind of does about those who were so timid to call out Donald Trump's immigration plan in the beginning of his presidency, those who voted for the Lake Riley Act, which has allowed Donald Trump to carry out these atrocious and disgusting attacks? People who thought, well, it might be popular. Maybe we should let him get away with this. Maybe we should let Donald Trump carry out this agenda, which, by the way, is already underwater in the polls. We're less than 6 months into this thing, and already people hate the part of Donald Trump's agenda that he claimed got him elected. And why is that? Because as AOC said, and as we always repeat on this show, it was never popular. His immigration plan was never popular. We just didn't work hard enough to make it unpopular. Who would think that the father of 3 service members just trying to do his job better, his community, keep people safe, getting arrested, getting kidnapped, getting thrown to the ground, who would think that that is popular? I don't know. I think we need to stop watching these polls. Stop watching the message testing and just speak with a bit of morality. A little bit more. Often, I don't know. Seems like the right thing to do, and we're going to keep talking about that on this show. And if you stuck around to the end, drop a blue heart in the comments, and until next time, I'll see you soon.